Hi guys, welcome back to the CCNA routing and switching video series. In this video, we will be having a look at the MAC address table on a switch. So the main objective for this video is just to understand what the MAC address table is and how a switch uses the MAC address table to forward traffic. So to begin with, what is the MAC address table? So the MAC address table is an address table that is stored in CAN memory on the switch, and it contains the information that a switch will use to forward frames. And so the switch is going to build this MAC address table by receiving frames. More specifically, it will note down the source MAC address of each frame it receives, the interface that the frame was received on, and also the VLAN that interface belongs to, or in the case of a trunk port, the VLAN that was tagged in the VLAN tag. And so the switch will build this MAC address table dynamically. There's nothing that we have to do on the switch to actually build this table. The switch will build this table as it learns off addresses in the method that I just mentioned earlier. And this table helps the switch to efficiently forward frames. So it allows the switch to efficiently make sure that it only sends the frame at the correct port or at the correct interface to the correct device. And by default, these dynamic entries will be kept in the table for 300 seconds every 5 minutes. So if a switch does not see that MAC address again, after 5 minutes, it will remove that entry from the MAC address table. Or if it sees that source MAC address on a different port, then it will change the entry. Now, let's have a conceptual look at what the MAC address table allows us to do. The MAC address table is essentially going to hold this information. It will hold the MAC address, the VLAN that device belongs to, or the MAC address belongs to, and the port that the switch can use to reach that MAC address. So how does the switch handle unknown unicast? Okay, so obviously we've seen how a switch would handle unicast. It will send out the correct interface. Broadcast, it will forward that frame out all interfaces that are in the same VLAN. Multicast is going to forward that frame to only devices which are in that multicast group. Well, if a packet is destined to a MAC address and the switch doesn't have an entry in its MAC address table, the switch will simply flood that frame out all ports. And so once the switch heads back from that device, it will add that entry to its MAC address table. So the way that works, imagine the device AAAA wants to communicate with the device CCCC. Now, for whatever reason, when the switch receives that frame, it looks at the destination MAC address. It doesn't have an entry in its MAC address table. What does the switch do then? Well, because the switch doesn't know how to reach that unicast MAC address or reach that destination MAC address specifically, what the switch will do, it will kind of say, I'm going to forward this frame out all of my ports apart from the port I received this frame on, because chances are if I do that, that frame will eventually reach the correct destination device. Now obviously, once CCCC responds back with a frame of its own going towards AAAA, the switch will receive that frame over gig 0/1, and then it will create an entry in its MAC address table. It said that I saw this MAC address listed as a source MAC address in a frame that I received on gig 0/1, and in this scenario, this frame or this MAC address belongs to VLAN 10. So it's going to note down the VLAN that the interface is a part of, the MAC address, and how that MAC address can be reached. And that's all there is to it. That is the MAC address in all its glory. So just an address table allowing a switch to be able to reach each device in the network. The MAC address table is sorted by MAC address, VLAN, and interface number. And that is all there is to it. So if you have enjoyed this content and would like to see more like it, please subscribe to my channel. If you have found this video useful, then please share so that we can get high quality IT training to the masses free of charge. Thank you very much.